Risings, to see what it is that you should keep most in mind and heart to help everything rise into place. Hope you're having a good weekend, and for the week coming up, let's see what's up. Let's see what's up. Starting off, getting right into it with Aries Risings. Aries Risings, we're going to tap in, as always, with Foundation Frequency, with an Oracle deck. We're going to be tapping in with Lenormand this week, and then Tarot for our fundamental framework. And that is going to be tapping into a little bit more clarification, confirmation in regards to what we receive for our details in the Oracle, in this case, Lenormand. So let's see how it goes. And for the tarot, I'm actually going to be choosing one card. So I'm just going to split the deck, pick a card, or either the top or the bottom, depending on the vibe and what the energy tells me to do. And then we're going to tap into this particular tarot deck that is going to be connecting with a particular question that you are to keep in mind and heart, to see again how everything rises into place for this week ahead, and to see what it is that you should be focused on and be able to answer that question for yourself as the week progresses. So let's tap right in, starting off. Aries Rising, let's see what is in store for you this week. For the Aries Rising Collective, give thanks, Spirit. Did you have the Aries Rising Collective know for this week? We got a flip out card, and we've got the Locket. We've got the Locket energy, and that is tapping into an offer of love. It's tapping into self-love as well as relationship love. We did have our Venus Cazimi yesterday. We've got Venus retrograde right now until about the 7th, I believe, of April, or the 12th of April. So just tapping into what it is that you should feel, that you think that you should be feeling when it comes to relationships, when it comes to your finances as well. And in terms of how it is that you want to give love, how you want to receive love, how you want to experience love. And again, always starting first and foremost with yourself, self-love in regards to yourself. So let's get our tarot question and alignment. Give thanks, Spirit. I am going to shuffle. And let's go with the bottom card every time for everybody. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, tapping into resourcefulness, tapping into nurturing, tapping into our divine feminine energy. And the question for you, Aries Risings, this week: how can I balance my practical and nurturing sides in creating abundance? So when we tap these energies in with the Locket and tapping into resourcefulness, tapping into, again, divine feminine energy, creativity, resourcefulness as divine mother, is really that connection of the heart-centered leadership, tapping into how you want to be, again, in love, how you want to give love, how you want to receive love, and what is growing, what is coming into fruition when you tap into this energy of self-love and thinking about the dynamics in regards to your love relationships. So we're going to do quick reads for us all this particular week. So that is for you, Aries Rising. And we're going to keep it moving for the Taurus Rising Collective. Thank you for subscribing. I see you. Thank you for that message. Taurus Rising, let's see what is in store for you this week. Tapping in for the Taurus Rising Collective. Give thanks, Spirit. What would you have the Taurus Rising Collective know? Give thanks. You've got the stars. This is a reminder for the Taurus Rising Collective and for everyone, but this is in alignment for Taurus Rising. When you look in the mirror, we think about the eyes are the windows to the soul, right? So you look in the mirror, look into your eyes. We look at the sky and we revel at the stars, and how incredible, how magnificent, how magical they are. But we have to remind ourselves that we are literally made of the same stuff that stars are made of. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, I want you to see yourself as the stars, as magnificent as the stars, the way that you look at the stars in the sky at night. You are absolutely made of star stuff. So remind yourself of that every time you see yourself in the mirror, especially first thing in the morning, when it's usually the time that we don't see ourselves the way that we want to. We've got the crust in our eyes. We feel tired. We feel the bags are worse than by the end of the day. You want to be able to see your stardom, see your star quality, especially in those moments, okay? Let's see what tarot card is aligning with the stars. I see Hattie, and it is your birthday. Happy birthday, Hattie. I don't usually do shout outs during the rising messages, but I have to give you a happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right, Taurus Rising. Your message, we've got the Eight of Pentacles for you. So this is about hard work, about endeavoring. This is about putting the energy and the effort into what it is that you love to do. This is about mastery. They say 10,000 hours into anything that you're doing brings yourself into an energy of self-mastery. This is really just about hard work paying off. So make sure that you continue to do so. Tapping into the energy of stardom as well, right? When it comes to being famous, being a star at whatever it is that you're doing, then just put the energy and put the effort into whatever it is that you feel that you want to be known for. And your question is, what areas do I need to focus on to reach my goals? To reach this energy of stardom, of fame, of fruition, of whatever it is that, again, you want to be most known for. Practice, they say, makes perfect, but it's not about perfection per se. It's about proficiency. And at the end of the day, any effort, any energy that you put towards something, it's just like going to the gym. If you pick up that weight every day, even if it's just a little bit every day, that muscle must get stronger. There's no two ways about it. So if you are putting the energy in, putting the time in, into what it is that you want to, again, want to be known for, think that you should be or want to be famous for, or whatever it is. And even if it's not about actual fame, it's about being known, whether it's in your community, whether it's at your job and being the best at it. It's about putting in the best. And ultimately, the more you put in, the more you're going to get out, and the more you're going to be able to have to give as well. So tap into that energy of what it is that you should be focused on. First and foremost, you, and this is why that mirror work of looking at yourself in the mirror and reminding yourself that you are the same stuff that stars are made of. What can't you do when you come back into that alignment? So get that work done, put a little bit of effort in every day and a little bit more every day. Why not, right? That's for the Taurus Rising Collective. Give thanks. And now tapping in for Gemini Rising. Let's see what your quick message is for the Gemini Rising Collective. Give thanks, Spirit. Gemini Risings. You got bear. You got mama bear energy. So whatever it is that you're doing, you're feeling very protective about for yourself, for your people. If you are a mother, then you are definitely feeling extra protective over your children, over your cubs, over your baby. This particular week, you are anyway and always. Mommies always are. We always are. But there may be something in particular that you are guarding your energy and guarding your children's energy a little bit more so. And it's also an energy of being protective over yourself, being protective of your endeavors, of your dreams, of whatever it is that is focused in terms of goal oriented, that you want to also kind of keep a little bit close to your chest right now before putting it too out there. So be okay with feeling this energy that's intuitive in regards to kind of not putting it too out there right now. Things take time, and you want to make sure that you're not putting something out prematurely that somebody can kind of have a tendency or the possibility to kind of tear down or to make you doubt it or to sabotage or infiltrate in some ways. So there may be something, again, that you're feeling a little bit, or someone, again, also in terms of yourself, that you're feeling a little bit protective over, and that's okay. Let your intuition lead. Let that mama bear, mother's intuition, whether you're a mom or not, we all have that little instinct as divine feminine energy that we all have, the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Allow that divine feminine mama bear instinct, whatever that inkling is that you're feeling that you want to be protective about, trust it. Absolutely trust it. And let's see what tarot card in question is in line for you. Definitely protective energy. You've got the Strength card. So you are tapping into ferocious energy. You are tapping into being guarded, being protective, being protected as well. And also, ironically, having that energy of the gentle maiden that can tame any wild beast. So your question is, how can you harness your inner strengths to overcome obstacles? This energy of feeling protective is because there may be a little bit of an obstacle, a conflict, some type of unjust behavior or energy that is surrounding you this week in general, and you do feel like there's something after you. just know that whatever it is, you do have the energy to be that protective mama bear energy. But not only that, it's the mama bear energy that ironically has the energy of being ferocious like a lion, but that also has the energy that a mama bear needs for her cubs to be gentle and to have that demure energy and to just kind of be able to be a little bit more strategic instead of just kind of coming with an energy of anger and the ferocity of a lion or a bear, of being able to manage that balance that is so required in order to overcome the obstacles. So tap into that. Hello, hello. Thank you, Benjamin. You love my courageous spirit. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. That was for the Gemini Rising. Now we're going to tap in for the Cancer Rising Collective. Let's see what your message is, Cancer Rising, for this week to help everything rise into place. We've got the letter. We're tapping into the letter for the Cancer Rising. So when we tap into the letter, we're aligning with expressing yourself, putting the energy out there so that you can manifest effectively. When we're thinking about what we script, our words are so incredibly powerful. Like when we write things down, the energy behind that is magnetic. It's literally thinking about a contract, what we're putting out and saying, this is done. And when we sign that, when you sign a letter, when you sign something that you're scripting, it's signing your autograph, it's bringing in this status of celebrity in a sense, but it's also making a binding contract between you and spirit, you and source, ultimately in what it is that you're putting down. Letters can be release energy. When we write things down that we want to discard, we want to clear out, expressing our emotions about something or someone, whether we give it to them or not, and then burning it, which is very powerful to do on full moons and especially. Or if you're writing a letter to yourself, writing a letter to your future self, or your future self writing a letter thanking your present self for everything that has been accomplished. That letter writing energy, journaling, is so incredibly powerful. Gratitude lists, that kind of thing. So that is definitely a message for the Cancer Rising Collective this week, to write it down, put it down, whatever it is that you want to release, and then to bring in the energy of what it is that you want to increase. And let's see what your question is, your tarot alignment is. You've got the Ace of Wands. That is very powerful, creative energy. And when we tap into the letter, we're tapping again into the fire. Definitely the message now being clarified is what it is that you need to release in order to discard, to burn away. So writing out something that doesn't serve you so that you can transform it. You can transmute it. Fire is purifying and transformative and transmuting in that regard. Fire energy is tapping into our wands energy. So this is about making space for what is supposed to actually come into your life. We cannot receive anything if there's something that is there bogging up the energy and taking up its space. You want something new, you want to make space for this new creative energy, and as a result, you need to burn away the old. Your question is, how can you channel your energy and passion towards your goals? It's all about fire energy. It's all about creativity. It's all about the passion. What is it that makes you feel that fire in your belly? What makes you lose track of time when you're doing it? These are the questions that you want to ask yourself as you are processing this particular question and as you're tapping into what you're scripting to burn away, to make space for what is meant for you. Okay? And that is for our Cancer risings. Moving along, moving along. So normally I do say to put a little emoji at the bottom to claim the reading, but I am doing some quick speed reads this particular week, as you can see. So every week I'm kind of trying to shorten the time as much as possible, just to make it more time effective for everybody involved. So this is part of it, and I will explain this more at the end as well, at the outro, and then give another rundown of this next week. For anytime there's a little bit of a switch up and change up, you know, I try to give y'all a heads up in regards to that. But you got to go with the flow. You got to do what Spirit tells you to do. And we're all trying to get our time back and be as time efficient as possible, but still being able to show up for each other. So Tapping in for our Leo Risings. Let's give thanks, Leo Risings. Thank you, Spirit. What would you have them know? The Rider. You've got a new message coming in. Leo Risings have a new message coming in. There is going to be, whether it's through text, whether it's through email, whether it's a phone call, whether it's snail mail, whether it's a pigeon carrier, something is coming through to give you a divine message. We've got Mercury in retrograde right now. So oftentimes when we think about Mercury retrograde, there's a slowdown in communication. There's a little bit of, stress and strain sometimes, miscommunications and all of these things. So it's that much more important to be very particular in regards to the messages that you're receiving, to be very, very on point in regards to contracts, in regards to the crossing T's, dotting I's type of thing, but also in regards to how you yourself are communicating and the messages that you are actually giving up as well and sharing with other people. So keep that in mind, the messages that are coming in, the ingoing messages and the outgoing messages, because they're going to be a little bit challenging through the Mercury retrograde, but have a potential to be very lucrative and again, very energetically in line with new beginnings with this Rider energy. And then we tap into your tarot message is the Death card, and the Death card and the Rebirth card. For me, it's all the same: death, rebirth, rebirth, death. It's really about the cycle of life. It's really about, again, that release to increase energy, something that must go in order for us to make space. This is like the energy of the darkest before the dawn, but the dawn must come. The sun will always come out tomorrow. So tap in and focus on the sun at the end of the day. The messages that are coming through could be, again, challenging, could be a little bit delayed and all of these things, but it's always about focusing on what is the good that can come out of this. How can you alchemize the energy regardless of the message that you're being given, or again, the message that you're sharing ultimately. How is it that you can make it positive, make it work for everybody involved? And your question is, what endings are necessary for new beginnings? There it is. So as we tap into any messages that are coming through for you, think about whatever that ending energy is, or that doesn't necessarily feel as good as you want it to feel. Now, how do you transform it? How do you now make this potential ending or something that is not as favorable as you would like into something that works and serves you and the greater good, ultimately? So that is for the Leo Rising Collective. We're going to tap in now for our Virgo Risings. Give thanks, Spirit. Tapping in for Virgo Risings. Got to flip out here, and you are being reminded that you are a star. Tapping into the mirror work of reminding yourself when you look in the mirror, and got a message for, I believe it was Taurus Rising that got the stars as well, that it is all about reminding yourself that you are made of the same stuff that stars are made of. So as much as you revel at the night sky and you're like, my God, look at the constellations, look at the stars, they're so magnificent, they're so awesome. Guess what? You too. So make sure that when you take the time and you're in front of the mirror, especially first thing in the morning when you don't feel so pretty, that you remind yourself that you are indeed so pretty and that you don't look like what you've been through, and that you are made of the same stuff that stars are made of. Do not forget it. This is an absolute reminder. And what it is that you're doing, that you're creative, that you're tapping into, that feels good to you, you can very much be a star. This is something that could potentially make you quite famous, quite known. So take it seriously and put your heart and your soul into it. And your tarot message to align is the Seven of Wands. So this is an energy when you're thinking about challenge and competition, feeling a little bit guarded. And oftentimes when we are tapping into the stardom, when we're tapping into, again, being a household name or whatever, there's going to be a lot of competition. There's going to be saturation, an oversaturation in our particular industries or whatever the case may be, even at the job. But make sure that you are just reminding yourself of who you are, and that if you're the one out of everybody in there that is constantly and consistently reminding yourself that you are a star and nobody else is, chances are you are going to shine brighter than everybody in there, and then you are going to come out on top. and there's going to be less need for even the idea of competition, because you are going to rise above. You are going to stand out. You are going to differentiate yourself amongst everybody else in there. You are going to shine like the star that you are. And your question is, how can you assert your beliefs and stand your ground? Standing, this energy too of standing your ground has such a juxtaposition to the energy of reminding yourself that you are a star above. This is that as above, so below energy. And that as much as you are a star and you tap into looking up at the stars and reveling at you being made of the exact same stuff, of recognizing that you are here on the ground and you get to also experience this matter that matters ultimately. And you get to live life and you get to touch and feel and taste and smell and be all of the things and experience all of the things that you experience in form and experience, that you experience on land, on the ground, versus just what the stars get to do and twinkle up in the sky. You get to experience both in many ways. So revel in that. And again, just focus on what it is that you're here to do, your purposeful work, stand out, and that's energy of standing your ground is going to be automatic, because you are definitely going to stand out above the rest, okay? That is for the Virgo Risings. Tapping in for the Libra Risings. Give thanks, Spirit. What would you have Libra Risings know to keep most in mind and heart this week? You've got the journal. It's so important for you to journal, to put down your thoughts and your feelings. And something that I always remind people when you're journaling, oftentimes we journal and we're talking about all the stuff that happened to us during the day, right? But more often than not, we remember the not so good things and we need to vent. And I am a proponent of feel it to heal it. But when it comes to writing things down that you intend to keep, be very mindful of what it is that you choose to document and record and write down. Because our writing, our scripting, our handwriting is so powerful. It's literally like our pen is a magic wand. Abracadabra, so said, so done, so written, it is done. It's been. So if you don't want a particular thing, even though it's an observation of what is factual and what is actual and what happened, if you don't want that to manifest, if you don't want that to continue, and you don't want to give it that much attention and power, I would recommend not writing it down. Especially because our memories in the future, we could forget that particular instance. But if you pick up that old journal 5 years from now and flip to that page and read that experience all over again, that your mind and your heart may have discarded because of all of the positive frequencies that brought you and elevated you out of that reality, brings you back just because you wrote it down and you're able to read it, and then all of those negative emotions come flooding back, it doesn't serve, right? So I actually make a point not to write down anything that I don't want to remember, that I don't want to fill up my vibrational core. If I know that that's not something that I would want to kind of fill me up in that way, I don't even put it down, especially not with a pen, especially not with scripting and the power of scripting. So keep that in mind, keep that in heart, and write down the things that you want to remember. Write down the things that make you feel good. Write the story and the fairy tale of life based on what it is that you're experiencing. And also journal the things that you want that have not necessarily come to fruition yet, but write it in the present tense. Write gratitude lists. These are the things that you want to put in your journal, that again, you want to use the power of your pen, that magic wand that the pen is in order to manifest what it is that you actually want to experience and that you want to remember in the future. Okay, let's tap into the tarot and see what your message is. Oh, we got to flip out, so we're going to choose that for you. Usually I was going at the bottom of the deck for everybody else, but intuition. You've got our high priestess energy. So you are tapping into your intuition. You are tapping into divine feminine energy. This is very dualistic energy as well, because we tap into the intuition and the moon and the divine feminine, and realizing that the divine feminine taps into the messages and the things that we are in receiving mode for. And then the divine masculine is about the action that is required. You want to have that beautiful balance and tap into the energy of inspired action. The high priestess brings in the inspiration that comes down through, again, crown chakra energy, tapping into the intuition, and then coming through to the sacral, which is about our creativity, which is about our gut, which is about that second brain in that sense, our gut that tells us when something doesn't quite feel right. You want to be able to listen to that. You want to be able to be in tune with that. That's what journaling is also going to be very, very helpful for, because as you're processing a lot of the things that are coming down and coming through, when you write them out, things will start to make more sense. They'll also create questions. And I also journal questions or write them either in my journal or on a separate piece of paper, and I'll put it under my pillow. I actually put my journal under my pillow as well, so that I'm constantly aligning with the gratitude list, with all of the prayers and the scripting and the power. Again, this is why I only put really positive things in my journal, because that's what I want my subconscious to be brainwashed with, right? So we tap in with your question. What intuitive insights are you ignoring? This is a powerful way to think of the spin here, right? Because our spirit always knows, our intuition always knows, but sometimes we are in denial, or sometimes we just don't want to face things, and sometimes we just want to keep things the way that they are. But there's a question here about ignoring. When something is coming through, when you're in the receptive mode, what is it that you feel like you're pushing away that you may need to kind of express a little bit in terms of the journaling? Not in terms of the negative things per se, but about what you want clarification on. Again, the questions that you want answers to. So tap in to your intuition in that sense, Libra Rising, and it's just going to help things balance out a little bit more. And especially, again, tapping into the power of your pen, that magic wand of your pen, and bringing into a form and experience what it is that your heart and your soul and your mind and all of the alignments, what that desire truly is, okay? Let's keep it moving. Scorpio Risings, you are up, you are up. Let's see what is in store. Scorpio Rising, right after Libra Rising got the journal, you've got the journal. So message received for you as well in regards to writing out what your heart desires, writing out what it is that you want to come into form and experience, gratitude lists, focusing on the positive things. Your pen is a wand. Be mindful of writing things down that you don't want your heart and your soul to remember, because one day you might forget, especially if you're in an energy of high vibration and you rise up and about and beyond that old experience, but then you pick up that old journal and read about it, and then your frequency's right back in that negative space, right? It doesn't serve. Sometimes we want to document every little thing that happened in the day, but when we think about where it could bring us back to when we've kind of cleared it and we're already somewhere else, that's something that doesn't necessarily serve us. So think about, feel about what it is that you actually want to remember. Oftentimes we want to document everything because we think about the memoirs, and I want to write the story one day, the story of my life one day. You are going to remember your story. You are going to remember what is meant to be shared and spread and put out there for the world based on where you are in that particular time, because every single day we are shedding skin. Our cells are literally transforming. So if you are somebody completely different when you start to write this memoirs, why would you necessarily want to put things in there that doesn't really represent who you are today anyway? Your soul's going to remember what it's supposed to remember. So don't put too much into what you're writing down from an ego standpoint, because the negative things that we sometimes journal is things like, I can't believe that happened, and they did this to me, and this happened, and it's very low vibrational when we're complaining in that journal entry, right? So it's not from a higher place that we are documenting these things from. So when you 10 years from now are in this higher place, would you want that old energy to be reflective of this new person in the memoirs anyway? These are the questions that ultimately you can ask yourself and should ask yourself, especially when you're tapping into what you're writing down, because what you write down manifests. That wand, that pen, abracadabra. So be very, very particular of the things that you write down, because they will come to fruition. You got to flip out. So we are going to get your message, which is the 10 of Cups. This is ultimate love and family and connection, and bringing in children and the rainbow energy of divine union. This is very, very auspicious and very powerful. And again, this is about what it is that you are imagining, or that you're experiencing right now, or what you want for your future. and you know that you want to be of a high vibrational and need to be of a high vibrational state in order to achieve something like this, in order to achieve this kind of harmonious love. So that's why it's that much more particular, and be more particular in regards to the things that you put down, the things that you write down in terms of what it is that you want to experience. So your question is, will there be happiness and harmony in personal relationships? That is up to you, right? And it's all in alignment with what it is that you are putting down, writing down, speaking, feeling, all of that. What energy are you focused on? What are you putting out there? Because everything is a reflection. We are reaping what we sow, right? It is this constant loop, this constant boomerang effect of cause and effect. So be very particular in regards to what it is that you're writing in your journal, what it is that you are speaking, what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you are thinking, in order to bring in what it is that you actually want. Because we are manifesting 24/7, whether we like it or not. And it's good, bad, and it's ugly. And it is all a mirror in regards to what it is that we are focused on. So be very, very particular and pay attention to what you are focused on. That's for the Scorpio Rising collective. Now tapping in for Sagittarius Risings. You've got the locket. We started off with the locket with the Aries Rising. So locket energy is all about an offer of love. It is tapping into self-love as well. We've got our Venus retrograde right now. We had a Venus Cazimi yesterday. So when we tap into thinking about this heart-centered energy and just leading from the heart, loving from that space, starting off again, first and foremost, always tapping in to our self-love. So important, because we cannot experience anything from anyone externally if we're not experiencing that with ourselves, if we're not practicing that love. And oftentimes in a relationship, we're holding back, we're questioning, I don't want to do this too soon or say this too soon. Ultimately, the ideal love is when you are in something and you can be your complete true self. When you can love the way you want to love. It's not just about how you want to be loved, right? It's about how you want to love, how you want to give love. And when you feel this sense of ease and peace in just being your full self and not holding back, that's love. And it doesn't matter how long it lasts, because now is all we have. And in that moment, when you feel this sense of, I just want to be and give myself, and I feel safe in this space, in this time, then don't worry about tomorrow and don't worry about yesterday. Be in it today. It's not about being frivolous and not being wise and not being mindful on all of those things. There's a divine balance that you are going to feel and you're going to know in the relationship and in the dynamic. But you're only going to know exactly how to be if you are in the moment, if you are being in the moment, instead of worrying about yesterday or being concerned about tomorrow. So be in this energy of what it is that you are being offered and what it is that you are offering, and feeling that sense of peace and ease and harmony, and just be, just be, just be. Let's tap in Sagittarius Rising for your tarot message and question of the week. You've got a lot of choices with the Seven of Cups. So this locket energy could be a plethora of offers. This can be multiple men, women coming for you, coming at you, and you absolutely have the choice. And the question is back to not just who's offering you what, but how do you feel? How do they make you feel in regards to the offering that you want to give them? Sure, you can take from anyone, but who makes you feel like giving? That's part of the question. And then your additional question here is, are there too many options to make a decision? And this is where it's about narrow it down. There's lots of options, and what's going to make it easier to narrow down the love options is exactly that initial question of thinking about who is it that makes you want to give you. Anybody can give, and that's great, and you can take, but who makes you want to give? That's for the Sagittarius Risings. And now we're going to tap in Capricorns. Capricorn Risings. Let's see what your message is this week to help everything rise into place. You've got the Clock Tower, Capricorn Risings. You're feeling like you're protecting your energy a little bit. This is a very Rapunzel kind of energy of feeling locked away, but you're locking yourself away in some ways. There's an energy of the clock ticking, of worrying about timing, but that energy of the polarity, right? Of feeling like you're guarding yourself and you're locking yourself away, but then worrying about losing time. So you want to be able to think about that balance a little bit better. Very hardworking energy, as always, Capricorn, right? So in many ways, you're being very, very tunnel vision, very focused, putting yourself a little bit higher above, not in a negative way, but just so that you're not distracted and you're feeling like this is what I'm doing. This, like, nobody, just let everybody leave me alone. But then you feel lonely. So there's a difference between the alone and feeling lonely, right? So if you're choosing to be alone, but then realizing that you feel lonely sometimes, you have to think about the balance that is required. And so that you don't feel like you're losing time with energies that you do actually want to build with. So the question, part of that energy, is for you to think about, who is it that you do actually want to spend time with? Who do you feel like you're not wasting time with? Capricorn energy oftentimes is like, I got stuff to do. I don't waste my time, right? Totally get it. But there are certain individuals and dynamics where you might not feel like your time is being wasted. Who are those people? What are those choices? What are those hobbies? What are those endeavors that don't make you feel like it's a waste of your time and that, the clock is ticking kind of thing? And put more energy into those dynamics and thinking about yourself and making sure that you're not losing time with yourself, so that that energy is building in terms of momentum, because that is also what makes you feel very good, is when you feel like there's progress in things, right? And again, not a waste of time. So definitely think about that. And let's tap into your tarot card and question. You've got the King of Swords. This is slicing through the truth. This is about being very, very expressive and honest and authentic in what it is that you're saying. Sometimes people might say it's a little bit harsh, right? But you're being honest and you're being authentic. And it's just, again, about finding that balance, so that if you're choosing to be alone, but thinking about the times that you feel lonely, of finding that in between that is required. And then also making sure that you're not doing things to sabotage relationships and to isolate yourself, right? Your question is, what leadership qualities do I possess and how can I use them to guide others? You are very much in leadership energy, and this is why you need to be out there more. This is not about you just being by yourself and isolating and locking yourself away in the clock tower, right? While time is ticking, but you're getting stuff done. But what's the community looking like? How are you showing up for others as well, and finding that balance, right? Because it doesn't just serve them, it actually serves you, because we get to expand with other people's perspectives and dynamics and energies around us. Sometimes we also learn based on who we don't want around us, right? This is, again, that question of knowing who it is that you feel like you're not wasting your time with. When you know, if you're in a dynamic when you feel like you are wasting your time, all of that helps you manifest the things, the people, the dynamics, the environments that you actually want. Sometimes we don't know what we want, but we know what we don't want because of the things that we are exposing ourselves to and the people that we are exposing ourselves to. So being around even the wrong energies sometimes can serve us. So it's never a waste of time, okay? Keep that in mind as we move it along. For the next sign, I'm seeing some messages here. Awakened Enki. And see what we see in Divine Queen. A certain energy is connected to a certain individual on a higher timeline frequency. A certain prophecy is at hand. Indeed, indeed. Indeed, Queen. Speak. Ashe. Well said. And so much is happening right on time, because we're in the age of Aquarius right now. It is different energy and it cannot be stopped. There is a split, there is a shift happening, and we just got to make a choice of what side we want to be on, right? So those of us that are here, we kind of know what side we're on, right? Aquarius, as I say, age of Aquarius, Aquarius Rising, my fellow Aquarius Risings, I am one of you. Let us see what is in store for the Aquarius Rising Collective. We've got the Owls. This is about camaraderie. This is about communication. This is about partnership. It's about wisdom. It's about the who. Who are you? When I tap into the energy of the owl and that who are you? When we tap into the energy of who are you, who are we, ultimately, that is what is going to lead us to everything, to everyone, to all of the stuff that is meant for us. Don't focus on the whats and the hows. Focus on the who. Focusing on the who is about your purposeful work. When we know our purpose, and especially considering Aquarius alignment, especially Aquarius risings, when we are tapping into the avatar of this particular incarnation, we are on the front lines right now with Pluto in Aquarius to transform humanity, to switch things over to an energy of collective consciousness, to an energy of people over profits, to an energy of thinking about moving things forward in regards to humanity and community. So when this work is done, everything else must come. Nothing can stop it. So just tap into this energy of who are you? Tap into communicating who you are, being so bold and so aligned and again, front-lined in that sense. We are on the front lines of the spiritual war, just like Queen Enki is talking about right now, what's happening right now, right? Aquarius rising energy are very much on the front lines, and we are doing this work to make sure that we are advancing and enhancing humanity for the better. The powers that once were are going down kicking and screaming. It cannot be undone, but they are going to do their worst. This is why it is darkest before the dawn. This is why it is going to get worse before it gets better. But the better, the best is inevitable. So stay in alignment, stay the course, particularly Aquarius rising. I'm speaking to you because again, we are on the front lines for this spiritual war. We are leading by example. So just be mindful and soulful in regards to what we're communicating. This is again part of why I'm doing this work, is to communicate. We are messengers in many ways through this spiritual warfare to make sure that we are each one teach one. We are lifting people up. We are elevating ourselves and each other, and making sure that through the process, you are doing everything that you need to heal yourself, to bolster yourself, to make sure that you are filling up your own cup and letting others drink of the overflow so that we can continue to do this purposeful work, okay? It's tapping in Aquarius risings for your tarot message. Look at that. Look at that. Talking about the powers that once were, talking about the devil energy, talking about this spiritual warfare. Listen, this is what we are up against. This is who we are here to fight. And it is about obsessions, and it's about addictions, and it's about the powers that once were going down, kicking and screaming. It's about all of the things that they're trying to hold on to and trying to keep us locked in on. Energies like lust, energies like anger, energies like division, and like there's as if there's any separation between us and source, self and source, right? This is what they want us to believe. They want us to not think that we're free. They want us to not feel like we're sovereign. And if the Aquarius Rising Collective believes this lie, the devil is a liar, if we don't align with the truth that the devil is a liar, then everybody loses, because we are again on the front lines of the spiritual war. So our question is, what temptations are holding you back from achieving your goals? Listen, this is so deep for me right now as an Aquarius rising, because I literally have been processing the temptations that I've discarded and things that were so hard for me to let go of, that in hindsight, only now that I've released some of these dynamics and thought processes and feelings, that I'm seeing the expansion and how easy it was. And all I had to do was let it go. But timing is divine. And this is why we have to be very gentle with ourselves through this process, especially being on the front lines. Because if we do not give ourselves grace, if we do not remind ourselves that we are human too, despite the divine experience, right? Or the divinity, but the human experience, then we're going to just consider ourselves failures. And then if we feel that way, everybody loses, because everybody is kind of behind us right now. Not in a negative way, but just because we're on the front lines of this war. We're literally like the standing guard, right? It's our turn. We're up. Aquarius rising energy with Pluto and Aquarius, we're up. Capricorns had their turn. We are up right now. So this energy of being up, we got to stay up. And this is why rising sign energy is all about it's only up from here, letting everything rise into place. So go through the things that you feel that are temptation, that, are negative energy, or that are holding you back, or that have you a little bit twisted, or feeling like you're out of your integrity. If you feel out of integrity, out of authenticity, if you feel like you're trying to explain or convince yourself or someone else of something that doesn't quite feel right, those are the things that we want to be very, very particular about in terms of releasing, so that we can make space, so that we can bring in the energy of the increase that can only come after the release. There it is. There it is. And that's the wisdom that's required ultimately, right? Pisces rising, you are up. You are up. And last but never least, and you've got the whip. Pisces rising, whatever it is that you might feel that you are feeling a little shame about, that you feel like in some ways you're punishing yourself about, or that you should feel punished about, release that completely. Whatever it is, discard it immediately. It is not serving you. It is not for you. This is, again, all part of this energy of being divine beings, living human experiences. We are supposed to go through the ups, the downs, and the all arounds. So do not punish yourself, and make sure that you're not punishing someone else. Everybody is going to have moments of flaw, of failure, whatever we want to call it, right? Of disappointment, whether it's disappointing ourselves or disappointing another or being disappointed by another. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. This is an energy of the give and the forgive, right? And we can give and we can forgive, but it doesn't always mean that we have to allow someone back into our space. So there's a, indication there of things to pay attention to. But any relationship, any dynamic that makes you feel like you need to whip, you are being whipped, that's not for you. Transform it or walk away. Think about this in regards to your alignment with self and source, making sure you're not doing it to yourself, and making sure that under no circumstances do you feel like you're being punished by source. Under no circumstances, I'm going to repeat that, under no circumstances do I want you to ever entertain that you are being punished by source. Religion does that to us, right? Many of us are here in the spiritual realm because we've turned away from that, because we don't subscribe to this God-fearing energy of being punished, of if you're not obedient, then you're going to go to hell, and you're going to all of these things, right? That's an energy that sticks with us, especially through religion, especially when we are conditioned in that way. This is something we need to change and transform, because it creates a separation between us and source, and then it limits our power to manifest and to actually come into the vibrational frequency that is required in regards for us to manifest our desires into form and experience. So process whatever it is that makes you feel like you're being punished, that you're punishing yourself, if you are punishing, how you punish, right? All of those different things, and clear that energy. Make it smoother. Remove that harm ultimately, because if you're not helping, you're harming. So if you want an energy of feeling like you're helpful, feeling like you're being helped, feeling like you're in an energy where it's harmonious, then feeling whipped or whipping, feeling punished or punishing has no place in that. It's gonna cancel it out. It literally will hold the harmony at bay. So it's really a choice that you have to make. So that's that. And let's tap in to your tarot card and question. You've got the 7 of Cups, multiple choices, and there's a lot of different dynamics and instances and feelings and thoughts that make you feel this questioning of the punishment, the whipping, the, shame, the tisk, tisk, tisk kind of energy. There are multiple choices, but they're not always all good for us. So there is that question that you need to figure out, what is it that you need to remove that isn't serving you? And your question is, are there too many options to make a decision? If you are also convoluted with all of these different thoughts and extraneous energies and ideas and all of these things, especially in regards to feeling like you're being punished or punishing yourself or punishing someone else, those are the places to start in regards to removing that particular choice. It's all a choice, everything that we do. So ultimately, the choice is yours, and you decide what you feel is going to serve you and your dynamics for the best outcome, for the greatest good, for the highest good of all, okay? That's for the Pisces Rising collective. So again, this particular week, quick speed read energy, tapping with Lenormand, and then the question alignments for our tarot. And I didn't do any of the choose an emoji at the bottom, just so we can kind of get through it a little bit quicker. I'm, switched over to doing the lives instead of the individual recordings like I started off the series, just in regards to taking my time back. It's also thinking about Sundays, and Sundays make sense to do this so that you have the heads up for the week ahead. But Sundays are, the last day before the school week starts in terms of spending time with my daughter. And I was just like, want to get more of that time back, and not feel like I'm watching the time too much and all that. So it's all about simplifying, right? Life is about simplifying things, and especially on this sacred journey of the soul, the more we can simplify things, the better off we're going to be, because we make things so complicated sometimes we don't need to, like for reals, for reals. So I'm constantly in the flow, right? Constantly making and morphing. So I give that to you as well, that even though you kind of have a certain format in life, whether it's part of your business, whether it's an idea, whether it's alive, whatever it is, when you feel there's time to shift and it's time to modify, and it's time to, shift something, just do that. Don't put yourself in a box and feel like, oh, but I've always done it that way, I have to keep doing it that way. Your soul is ever evolving and expanding every single second of the day. Let it be what it is in the moment, because it's different than it was 5 minutes ago. It's already different and different and different. Every second, I'm different. Every second, you're different. So allow that change and that growth and that expansion to happen. So thank you for being on the journey with me. Ultimately, that's what it's all about. So thank you, thank you. That's it, and done in an hour, less than an hour, so you can't go wrong with that. And then you still get your message, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wins, everybody wins. So that is it for this week. So keep in mind and heart the messages that were for you. And I'll be here on Sundays live at 5 for your weekly messages for the rising signs. And Tuesdays, as always, I go live here as well as on IG for my Tuesday tea at 2, tapping into universal laws and crystal alignments and herbs. And we have some tea and just talk about how nature nurtures. So tune in for that as well. Tuesday tea at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Happy spring. If I didn't say that at the top, happy spring. It is officially spring, so yay. And I did have my art exhibition opening, my gallery opening. Bin Gallery is officially open to the public. So if you are in the Brooklyn or New York area and you're interested in coming to see some of my art, I've got my spring collection on the walls at Bin Gallery, then you should definitely come through by appointment only. So either message me here or Gmail, backiinatural, BACKII, natural at gmail.com. And you should come through, come and hang out, come and see the art. So that's it. In the meantime, and in between time, lest we forget, time to get back to natural. Peace.